The ancient Greeks were a polytheistic society that worshipped many gods and goddesses. The Greeks created the gods in the human image, and because of this, not all gods behaved well and had human flaws such as envy, rage, and roaming eyes. The ancient Greeks did not use the gods to set a moral example, but instead used them to explain away natural phenomena. The ancient Greek people used their art as a record to tell stories of gods, love, life, and tragedy. Their use of art has helped build their identity and culture, which is now used as a popular point of study for the modern world. A popular medium was the black figure painted vase that included scenes of daily life in prosperous times and otherwise, alongside the celebration of culture. The Vazic scenes often intertwined religion with the inclusion of mythical creatures and Greek gods and goddesses. Symposiums were important to the Greek people. They were a way for communities to gather, trade, and have fun. Often there would be wine, women, and music. Vases were used in symposiums to mix wine and water to serve large groups. Featured here is a terracotta crater depicting a black figure image of Hephaestus' return to Olympus, the home of the gods.
Greek religion was present in all aspects of life in ancient Greece. Religion was personal and individualistic to each person. Myths were directly connected to religion. The myths explain the origin and lives of the gods, as well as reinforce ideas such as death, the afterlife, and ancestors. The purpose of Greek religion was to encourage worship to the gods, which is part of their daily lives. Gods were given humanistic traits, and each represented a human condition or abstract idea. The most important gods were the Olympian gods, led by Zeus, and who were believed to reside on Mount Olympus. Greeks used prayer and sacrifice to seek things such as healing or success in war. Every failure usually represented anger in some god. A large portion of Greek art portrays Greek mythology and their belief in the gods. Sculptures, pottery, and paintings were used in times of worship and respect. Art also depicted scenes of formal rituals, sacrifices, and cultic activities. Ancient Greek used art to physically portray the gods and to strengthen the idea that gods and deities were superior and should be honored, which mostly stayed consistent in modern depictions of gods of Greek mythology. The Greeks worshipped many gods and built temples in order to worship them. The three main types of these temples were Doric, the most common, which had straight columns that are grooved and had no base; Ionic, which were elaborate columns that had a base and were sometimes sculpted into statues; and Corinthian, which were slender fluted columns that were mainly decorative. A famous example of a temple was the Temple of Zeus. Today, the altar of this temple is used to light the fire of the Olympic Games and is carried to all parts of the world where they are being held. During the excavation of the site, the marble head of Hera was found, as well as the statue of Hermes built by the sculptor Praxiteles, which is hosted today in the Archaeological Museum of Olympia. These kinds of temples were used as a sanctuary for gods to reside in.
Pottery. What is there not to like about it? You have pots everywhere. They're in the ground, they'll be used in the buildings, they're even used to hold things that made buildings. In fact, pots were so common, everybody had them. It was very interesting because the uses of pots were basically you put bread in them, you put water in them, wine, other things. Whatever you wanted, you put it in a pot. You wanted to move, you had a pot. You wanted to go somewhere, you had a pot. In fact, pots were used so commonly they put art on them because they were so bored, and it's the only thing that survived. Pottery was used to convey meaning and oftentimes a message to a still picture. Many Greek pots depict scenes of common life, of people fighting beasts, of heroes making great sacrifices, or that one pot which shall not be described. If you know that pot, congratulations, you have a dirty mind. This pot depicts Achilles killing the queen of the Amazons in one-on-one combat. Why you would want your kids looking at this? That's a question for the Greeks, and we'll keep it that way. So why is it we have so many pots? Why don't we have so many murals? Why don't we have so many buildings? Why don't we have so many other things? It is because the elements have gone through and destroyed them all, but the elements have not destroyed, people have. People have built upon the cities of ancient Greek cities. We have cities on cities on cities. Few murals have survived because of this, because all the walls were torn down. But this is why pottery is so important. It's all we really have left to connect with an ancient civilization. I hope you all enjoyed, and remember, art plays a central role in every civilization, from the people all the way to the gods they depict. Have a safe time, and most importantly, remember to keep it short.